On this second Sunday of Lent, we hear this great first reading from Genesis of the covenant that God made with Abraham. And I think it's fitting to call to mind our own covenant, our baptism, on this day. The covenant that the Lord made with us in light of the transfiguration that we hear in the gospel, as Christ reveals his glory, as Christ reveals to us the great glory to come. That the covenant that we have entered into through the saving waters of baptism has an end beyond this world, just as the covenant that God entered into with Abraham has an end beyond his own time and place. He says his whole covenant is based on his descendants. It's not, in fact, based on Abraham's life at all. It's based on those to come after him. The covenant that God has made with us is all based on what is to come. But so often, so many of us get trapped and get the blinders put on and so nearsighted and look at what is God doing for me now. And indeed, God is blessing us. Indeed, God is doing great things in our world all the time. But if we don't have that long view, if we aren't looking forward in hopeful expectation, we're missing the great glory that is God. We're missing the fullness of his glory, the fullness of all that God is revealed to us and of what he has initiated us into at our baptisms, at that initiation in our faith. God has called us to something more. I've said it many times, and it's not something unique to me. And St. Paul writes this to the Philippians today, that there are many out there that are enemies of the cross of Christ, who have God as their stomach and glory as their shame, he says. Those who are stuck in the here and now. The carpe diem mentality of seize the day, eat, drink, and be merry. There's a million cliche sayings to describe the same thing that St. Paul is speaking about. But it's exactly what we've been saying. Is our destiny locked here in the now, or is it in something greater, something more? And all of Lent leads us to that great gift of something more, to Easter, to the resurrection. Beginning on Ash Wednesday, we made those mini covenants with God. Those Lenten promises to commit ourselves to something during these 40 days of Lent, not because we need to be cajoled or to be rewarded. In fact, we hear very poignantly on Ash Wednesday to make sure if we are fasting or doing sacrifice and penance, to not go around promoting our penance, promoting our fasting, as Christ says, like the hypocrites do, but to wash our face, to change our clothes, to not let those around us know what we are doing, for the Father knows. The Father knows our inner longings, knows our hearts. We made those mini covenants with God, or Lenten promises, as a means for us to improve our lives, to improve through prayer, fasting, almsgiving, to improve our relationship with God, our relationship with our neighbor, in some respects, our relationship with ourselves, to overcome those obstacles, those hurdles in our lives, to become more perfect as our Heavenly Father is perfect. And so on the second Sunday of Lent, it's an opportunity to reflect on not only our baptismal covenant, big C covenant that God has initiated us into, but also our little covenants, our Lenten covenants that we all made with God on Ash Wednesday, and how are we doing? And I challenge us that if maybe we thought it was a good idea and it's not going very well, maybe it was we took off a bite too large to chew, or it's just too easy. It's really not doing much, improving my relationship with God or with my neighbor. Just step it up. Nobody says you're locked in at Ash Wednesday and you can't change anything. That's it. Oh, I got to wait till next year, Ash Wednesday. I'll try better next year. You can try better today, and then tomorrow, and the next day. So it's a challenge to us all to examine these covenants we've made with the Lord, to not give in to earthly things, as St. Paul warns us, our minds so occupied, so consumed, so full of things here and now, which is so tempting to do because we are here and now in the world. But to look beyond, as he says, our citizenship is in heaven. Our citizenship lies beyond us. It is something greater than the here and now. Our citizenship is in heaven. He, God, will change our lowly body. He will conform us with his glorified body. That glorified body he showed us a glimpse of at the Transfiguration. Why? Because of that great love that he has for us. The love that he's always had for us. The love that he calls out to us to come to him. It's why he became a man, why he died on the cross, why he